evening, everyone. I am Tanisha Rana from Incubate Int. I welcome you all to this hands on training session on Spark AR. Many of you must be joining us for the first time, and some of you must have seen the previous videos that we have recorded and shared with you all. Today, me and my colleague Anuj will be taking this workshop forward. Anuj will explain you the registration process and how to download the Spark AR Studio. After that, I'll take the hands-on training workshop. If you have seen the previous video, you might be aware of the basics of Spark AR Studio. If not, we'll spend some time in learning the basics first and then move on to learn how to add 3D objects and some other things. Over to you now, Anuj.
Thanks, Anisha. Thanks for the introduction. So I'll just start with the registration process, but before that, I'll be sharing the website link on the comment section. You can check it there. If you haven't registered, make sure to go and register now. And the last time to submit effect is today, midnight. Before that, you have to do that. I'm just sharing my screen, and then I'll start with the presentation. I hope my screen is visible to all. So, Facebook Spark AR Labs powered by Incubate and the hands-on session. We welcome you all. And before moving forward, I would like to wish all of you all the best. Have fun while creating your first AR effects. We'll be taking you through the registration process along with how to do, what to do, and how to complete your first AR effect. By the end of this session, you will be able to create effects, augmented reality effects. The agenda for today's session would be the introduction, which is going on right now. Why Spark? Yeah, what is Spark? Yeah, what are the opportunities and scope? Process of participating in the contest with step-to-step guidance, along with hands-on session with Spark. Yeah. Now, the most basic question comes: what is Spark Air Labs? Why we are taking this initiative? And we have the two problem statements around COVID, that is celebrating the frontline workers and appreciating them, and the second one is celebrating getting vaccinated. Why we are doing this? Why this started and how this initiative? So basically, Facebook Spark Air is an initiative by Facebook to enhance the skills of Spark AR creators and people who are into augmented reality, give them a platform where they can develop, they can help each other, they can guide each other, and hence the initiative started. This is the first collaboration of Facebook Spark AR Labs in India, and that too on such a big level where we have registrations and submissions from all around the world. Another question comes: why did we select the two problem statements? As we all know, we are in this pandemic together and we need to motivate each other, we need to create awareness, we need to spread awareness. And some people think that vaccines are not safe. Some people say that I'll not take vaccine right now, I'll take when it's safe in the upcoming future. But we need to make sure that we evangelize augmented reality along with spreading awareness that vaccines are safe, appreciating the frontline workers. And just imagine, the best way to do is sitting in front of a laptop, creating filters, using the filters, sharing that, and people get to know about augmented reality along with the COVID 19 awareness. So this is why this initiative took place. This is how the collaboration initiated. And now the question comes: what is Spark AR? You keep on hearing Spark AR from my mouth many times, right? So Spark AR Labs is the initiative of Facebook, and in that Spark AR is a tool. If you are a coder, you use Atom, you use PyCharm, you use different tools. And if you are a graphic designer, you use Photoshop, Sketch, Lightroom. So just think of it as a tool, just a software used to creating augmented reality effects. Now, you might think, sir, we are students, and if we go into augmented reality, do we have any career? The answer is yes. You just need to figure out how to get to that spot where you can advance. You can see the graph right now. Since 2016, the graph has statically increased till 2001 and will rapidly increase after 2021 till 2028. And the top five job roles which augmented reality offers you is 3D artist, software developer, software designer, system validation engineer, design architect, and there are many other. These are the top five which I have listed on. So before diving dive into augmented reality, let's start with the Facebook registration. I Facebook Spark Air registration. I have already shared with you the website link. You can just go and register right now. Why I'm showing the whole steps and procedure through the slides, not by the presentation, is because I have already registered with both my IDs, and right now, you know, I'm using the slides to demonstrate each and every step to you guys because I don't have any more Facebook IDs. That's simple. So just click on register now. When you come to the website, you will see this button here. Click on register now. You will be seeing a form of that. You will be sent to a registration form column, and you just need to fill out the entries and submit it. After submitting, you will be redirected to the dashboard. This dashboard is the command center of this initiative. You can say you can get all the steps here. You have to submit your idea here. You can join your Slack channel from here. You can join a webinars from here. If you click on the webinar link, you'll be redirected to the webinar which we are having right now. So you need to click on Spark Labs button and then you will be redirected to Facebook Blueprint. Before this, just ensure that your Facebook ID is already logged in into the desktop or laptop, whatever you are using, because the process from here is directly linked with the Facebook account, and you don't have to enter any mail ID, phone number, OTPs, passwords, anything. You just need to click here, login, continue as Anuj Sharma, continue as Akansha, continue as Ankit, whatever your username is, and then you will be redirected to the time zone page. Now we have n number of time zone here, right? And how do we search it? Just look for GMT plus 5:30. You will find Kolkata, Mumbai, Delhi, and then select any one of them. Enter your mail address, checkbox both the terms and conditions, and click on submit. After submitting, your registration process has been completed, and we'll be moving on to the next step. Now, what is the next step? Getting your own Sparkia Studio. You will be redirected to this page. Just scroll down a bit, and then you will see download Sparkia Studio. Click on this link here. Then you will be redirected to the Sparkia Studio page and click on download. After clicking download, the download will start. The software is somewhat of around 450 or 60 MB. It will take only a minute or two. And yes, for this you need graphic card. You need 4 GB RAM at least to have to ensure that the smooth progress of it. And it is available on Windows, Mac OS. It's not available on Linux right now, so you need to have Windows or Mac. And when the download is complete, just click on install, next, verify, next, whatever the steps are, choose the location, and then click on install. And yes, your registration would be completed. Now I'll be taking you to the dashboard to show you something. When you go to your dashboard, you will see a presentation here. This presentation consists every step you need to create. You need to register on our platform. You need to create your first augmented reality effect, how to install the studio, everything. You can just follow the studio and you will be able to follow this presentation and you will be able to create and publish your own effect. We'll dive deep into this. My colleague Tanisha will be taking that forward, but before that, let's see what are the buttons we can use here. Home, it will take you to the home website. You don't need to do that. The edit idea or submit idea. So basically this is the place where you submit your idea. After publishing the effect, you need to take a screenshot. Tanisha will be showing you which screenshot is needs to be taken. Just have a look at here. Click whichever the problem you have selected, browse, and then select the screenshot and submit idea. Your idea would be submitted. Just in case if you have submitted a wrong screenshot, you can go after submitting the idea. You will see edit idea. Before this, you will be seeing submit idea. So after submitting the idea and you want to edit the screenshot, just click on edit. You can again do the same process and submit. Communication channel, when you click on this, you will be redirected to our Slack workspace. You can join there, ask queries to us, share your filters after creating resources. So when you click on resources, you will get all the first you will get your slides, and on the home page we have some resources which you need to download. Tanisha will be taking you through how to download and what to download. Just click here, you will see. Okay, so yeah. So here are the resources which you might need. and it's not available on phone. On phone we have Spark AR Player. So yeah, so you can try, you can use your filter on you and then publish it. So we have some questions. I guess we'll take some questions which are related to this here. So submit and publish both. No, publish is a different button. Submit is a different button. Uh, am I right, Tanisha, or are they the same?
Actually, in the studio, we publish our effect, and while we submit the screenshot, it shows this submit button. So basically, they both are different.
Okay, I just wanted to confirm whether on the studio we have these buttons or not. Okay. So you will be getting the T-shirt post the event. The event will be completing tonight. After that, we'll be verifying the data, the effects. So it might take some time, and after that, we'll be doing. Okay, so I guess we can start with the hands-on session, and then we'll take on all the questions together at the end of the session. So over to you, Tanisha.
Yeah,
Right?
sure. Thank you, Anush.
We have a
Then,
question here right now. I
yeah,
just
sure.
Okay, see, there are shortcuts which you can use. Like I am a Windows user, so I can tell you the Windows. You can click on Control Shift Print Screen and save that. I don't know about Mac because I'm not an Apple user. So this is how you can take the screenshot and submit it. Yes, if you don't have any fast PC, you can do that. The process might be slow, but you can complete that. How to record the demo video and pre-built person, everything would be taken on by Tanisha, and the deadline is tonight, midnight, basically 12 o'clock tonight. You need to submit it before that. Now, I'll hand over the virtual mic to Tanisha. Over to you.
Thank you, Anush, for walking us through the registration process. I hope the registration process is clear to all of you. If not, then we'll just take your queries after I have completed the hands-on training session. So, as Anush told you, I'll be teaching you guys how to make AR effects. Many of you guys are joining us for the first time, so we'll start with making one basic AR effect, which any one of you can make within a span of 10 minutes, and after that I'll be teaching you all something little different from what we have done in our previous videos. I'll be teaching you guys how to rotate certain emojis or object that you add to our AR effect. That is something that we'll do after learning how to make the simple effects. So without wasting any time, I'll just share my screen and we'll start with the Spark AR Studio. Okay, so I hope my screen is visible to all of you. And I'll just give you guys a brief introduction about the studio. We have studied about the studio and learned what are the options in our previous videos as well. So I'll quickly run you through that. So this is how the studio looks when we open it after downloading it. We have many templates here. We can use any of these to make our effect, but if you're using the studio for the first time, I suggest you start with a new project. So we'll also start with a new project. I'll just click on it and let's see what appears. So after clicking on the new project, a screen like this appears. So this is our Spark AR Studio. This is how it looks, and this is the main studio in which we'll be working. So just a quick recap of what are the panels and what is this the real-time simulation, what is the place we'll be working on. So we have three main panels for the studio. One is the inspector panel. This is this one on the right hand side. It is called as the inspector panel or the master panel because everything that we add to our AR object can be controlled by here. Suppose we add a font or a rectangle and we want to change its color or font or something like that. So we all that can be done by this panel right here, the inspector panel on the right hand side. On the left hand side, we have two panels. One is the scene panel and just below is the assets panel. So in the scene panel, we can add all the objects that we want to, and they appear in a well-defined manner. It's basically like an index that shows what all effects or objects we have added in our AR effect. Just below the scene panel is the assets panel, which has an option to import files from our computer that we can include in our effect. Also, it has an option to include files and objects from the AR library. So what is the AR library? I'll just click and show you. So AR library is a collection of cool objects that includes 3D objects, music, sound, and basically everything that we need to make our effect look attractive is available in the AR library. Suppose if I want to add a hat, I just type in hat here and search, and all the options that are available for hat will appear here. If you guys are trying to make the effect right now with me, I would suggest you follow all the steps that I'm following. In any case, the video will be recorded. You can see it afterwards also, but since we'll be taking a Q&A session after I've completed teaching you, so if you guys face any difficulties, you can ask me then and there. So this is how the AR library looks. We can add anything and everything that we want in it, and there are no in-app purchases that you have to make. It's all available for free. So if you have that doubt, that is nothing to worry about. So this was the AR library. We'll have a look at how we can import objects from there further in the session. After that, we have this panel here. It is the preview panel which actually shows us how our effect will look when we use it on our phones. So you can see iPhone 8 is mentioned here. We have options to select our device here. Even if I change it from an iPhone to an Android device, it won't make much of a difference, just the size has decreased a little bit. So this is a panel which shows us how things are working and how things are looking. We don't usually touch anything in this panel because this is just a preview panel. The main panel in which we work is this panel. This panel right here, a screen which is appearing here is the main screen in which we'll be working, and this panel right here is just the preview panel. We don't have to do anything with it. Alright, so one more thing, if you want to change this real-time face stimulation, we can do that as well. We'll just go on the side panel, we'll click on video, and we have options to adjust the real-time face stimulation according to ourselves. So we can select any one which is given here. Or what you can do is, if you don't want to use any of these which are available here, you can just click on integrated webcam and your laptop's webcam will open and your face will actually appear here, and you can see how the effect that you're building is looking on your own face. So if you want to do that, you can do that also, but I'll just stick to this one for now because it will be easier for me to handle it this way. And you can also pause this video if you want to align an object that you have added. If this constantly moves, it gets a little bit tricky to control the object, so it's better to pause it and play it whenever we are done aligning our objects. So this was all about the introduction of the studio. Now we'll see what are the main keys that we use for controlling the panel here. So we can't scroll right and left in the panel with our cursor. We have certain set of rules for that. In the AR Studio, what we do is, for zooming in and out, we press Ctrl and Alt and then zoom this screen. We can set it according to ourselves. Now we can see the screen has been zoomed in, but it is still a little bit tilted, and we want to rotate it and fix it properly so that we don't face any issue in aligning the object. So for that, what we can do is we can just press Ctrl and rotate it, place it according to ourselves, and if I press Alt, we can move left and right in the studio. So Control plus Alt for zooming in and out, and Control for only rotating it, and Alt for moving right and left. This is how you can adjust the screen panel here, and you can set it according to yourselves. By default, it is set tilted like it was, but we can set it according to ourselves, like I have done by spending a few minutes. So this was all the introduction of the studio, which I had told you earlier also. Now let's start making effects. So we'll start making a very basic effect in which I'll try to import one file from my computer that I've added, align it with the movement of my real-time face stimulation, try to add some text, try to import something from the AR library, and see how the result looks. We'll then publish the effect that we have made, and after that, if you guys want me to tell you something that I had planned for you, if you're comfortable with that, we'll move on to that. But first, let's begin with making a very basic filter. So what we need to do is, I'll just click on add object from here, from bottom of the scene panel. I'll just click on add objects and I'll add a face tracker. I'll just insert a face tracker. If you are making the effects simultaneously with me, you can do it right now, because this effect which I'm making is a very basic effect and any one of you can make it within 10 minutes. And also today is the last date for submitting your effects and participating in the challenge. I would suggest you do it right now with me, because like we have a few hours left for the contest to close. So we've added a face tracker. Now let me just unpause this video and see what the face tracker has done. So you can see there's no change here in the preview panel, but there's some change here in the working panel. A face tracker with 3 axes have been added and it's aligning with the movement of our face. So as the name suggests, this is what the face tracker does. It aligns and tracks the activity and movement of our face and moves along with our face. So whatever object which I add here, suppose I've added a sticker or anything, a text or something like that, and I have aligned it with the face tracker, then it will move with the movement of our face. So we can also simply import files from here and paste it here, but you won't see any files have been imported here in this panel. You'll be able to see it here in the assets panel, but if we add any files without adding the face tracker, it gets very tough for us to align it properly. So it's always better to add a face tracker and just follow the steps which I'm telling you. So I'll just pause it so as to have a better control. And after I've added a face tracker, I'll add a plane to it. So for adding a plane, I'll just right click on the face tracker, click on add. We have certain options to add objects here. Now we don't need to add a plane tracker at this moment. We need to add a plane. So don't get confused between both of these. We'll just add a plane. So you can see first in the scene panel, a plane has been added under the face tracker. And one checkered thing has appeared in our panel. You guys might be confused what it is. We'll have a look at it and sort it out. So if I play it, you can see the plane that I've added, this box right here, is moving with our face stimulation. So this is what we've done. This is what we actually wanted to do, to align whatever thing we are adding with our effect. So if you guys try to add certain static image or certain static text to your effect, it might eventually get rejected by Instagram and Facebook, because we have certain policies for them, and recently the policies have been updated, and earlier static text and static images were accepted in the effects. Now they're not. So many people have ended up getting their effect rejected because they added a static image. So you just need to add a face tracker in order to make your effect accepted. Don't just try to add static images. Try to add some kind of animations or some kind of face tracker to it, to avoid unnecessary confusion at the last moment. So we can see our plane is here. Now we don't intend to keep it like this. We of course want to add something to this plane, and for that we need to remove this effect, this checkered effect that it has. So, but first we'll try to align it and position it where we want it. So I want my sticker to appear somewhere here. You can obviously select where you want your sticker or whatever image you are adding. I want it here on the top right corner, and it's a very simple image that I have downloaded from Google. You can also do the same, or you can obviously take help from the AI library. So you can see as I click on plane from here or from here, 3 axes have appeared for controlling the plane. So these 3 axes are x-axis, the commonly used axis in mathematics that we used for moving it left and right. Like if I click here on the red axis, it will help us push it to the left and right according to our preference. And this is the y-axis. With this y-axis, I can change its position and shift it a little up or little down, whatever we want. And this is the z-axis, through which we can control how forward or backward our image will appear when we use it by adding it. So this is how we control it using the axis. I had earlier also mentioned in my videos, if you guys have a mouse at home, connect a mouse before using the studio for the first time. And if you're comfortable with using your touchpad, you are free to use that as well. But for your ease, if you're using the studio for the first time, it will be convenient for you to handle all these access and everything with the help of a mouse. So I'm just using my touchpad, and this is how we control the positioning of the panel. And even for positioning the plane or whatever thing we add to our 3D objects, we have two options here. One is how we did it using the axis, and the other is coming to the inspector panel and manually typing in values that we want. So many of us are not comfortable with adding these values manually, but we actually use this option in the inspector panel when we have to make micro changes. For example, if I drag this plane right now a little bit down, you can see in the inspector panel the values in the y-axis are constantly changing as I'm trying to rotate, as I'm trying to align it. So this axis and the position here are aligned with each other, and they actually does the same thing. It's just that we have two options of doing it. And why do we have this option here? Because I told you, when we have to make micro changes like a 0.1 change, it's not possible using the axis. Then we head to the inspector panel and then we control the values ourselves. Similarly, for the scale also, we have two options. One is to manually type the value that we want. Whenever you add any object, by default, every scale is set to 111 and you can change it according to yourselves. But if you don't want to, change it manually, we have one option here. Just write to the local option which says edit the scale of the selected object. So if you want to not touch the inspector panel and if you want to work with the axis, you can just select scale option here, and you can see you can easily control the scale as I'm doing right now. And also we have option here. So I told you, whatever option you feel comfortable with, you can work with that. And for rotating the plane, we have one option here. Similarly, we have one option in the inspector panel. If I want to rotate it, I can use this here. Just a minute. Yeah. You can see I'm rotating it easily with the help of these three axes that have appeared again for rotation. And you can similarly do that from here. So as I started rotating it here, the values automatically updated this side as well. So we have two options here. Whatever you feel comfortable with. If you are more comfortable with using the inspector panel, use that. If you're more comfortable in using the axis, you can do that. It totally depends upon what you are more hands-on with. So this is how we can adjust the alignment of the plane. And now we want to remove this text or whatever effect we have and actually place a good looking image on this plane. So for that, what we'll do is we'll select plane from here or from here and head to the inspector panel. We'll just click on materials and create a new material. A new material has been created for the plane and it has been updated here. Earlier this assets panel was empty, but now we have a material here and the material is material 0. So we'll just rename this material as material 1 or material plane, because when we make AR effects, we end up adding a lot of materials, because a material is basically like a packaging of the object. It basically controls the appearance of the object. So like in this case, our plane was looking like a chessboard and we added the material and now it is looking something gray. And now I want to change the color of it. So without adding the material, we could not have changed the color of the plane or any other objects that we add. It is very important to add a material to it, and only then we can make changes on its appearance. If you want to make it a little sparkly, a little glittery, all that can be done only after adding the material. So by default, whenever you add a material, it appears like this, gray in color. You can change it according to yourselves, just like we'll do right now. But but at this point of time, I'm not trying to change the color of this plane. I just want to add some image to it that I've pre-downloaded. So for that, I'll just head to inspector panel after selecting plane material here and go to this option textures and choose a file. So I have downloaded many files here, but the one which I want to add is this. So you can see I've added this sticker that says COVID-19 vaccination because that is the theme of our challenge. So I'm trying to align my effect that I'm making with that particular theme, and you guys also have to align whatever effect you are making with this particular theme of celebrating getting vaccinated or to appreciate the efforts of the frontline workers. Of course, after outside this challenge, you are free to use the studio for your personal use. But for this challenge, make sure that you align the effect that you're making with this. So you can see the sticker that I've added or the image that I've added is actually moving with our face stimulation. So this is what the face tracker has done. It's aligning with the movement of our plane, and if we want to add something static, we can't simply add it. For that, we have to change the background and add some animations to it. As I already told you, static images are not accepted by Instagram anymore, so we'll not move to that. We'll just keep it the way it is. And you can see a sticker has been added that is aligning with our theme also. And if I want to increase the size of the sticker or rotation, I can't click on the texture that I've added or the material that I've added. I have to again head to the plane because the plane is the base over which we have added this image. So now if I want to change the scale, suppose I'm using the inspector panel and making it a little larger on the x-axis, you can see I have typed in the value and it has changed. So even after adding the image, if you feel the size or anything of the plane or the image that you've added is a little tricky and you want to change it, you have to do it by going to plane and not by these materials or textures that are added for the object. So we've added something from our computer. Now let's see how can we add some text to it and how can we actually import something from the AR library. So as I already told you, this is a very basic AR effect that we are making. Any one of you who has never previously used the studio can also make it. And we have also recorded certain videos. If you want to learn how to add 3D objects or you how to add confetti or something like that, you can see that also. But for now, we'll try to complete this effect that we are making. So I just want to add a text here just at the bottom of my preview panel that says let's get vaccinated, and I'll just try to put something from the AR library. So for that, I'll first add a rectangle and make it a little transparent. I'll just head to add on top of the scene panel, not here. Yeah, and we have options here to add certain things. We can add a 3D object, we can also add a 2D object, lights and everything else, but for now we'll stick to adding a 2D object that is a rectangle. So I've added a rectangle and it has come under the canvas. So you can see the chain that the scene panel or the studio has created. We added a rectangle and it has automatically come under the canvas. So this is what I was telling you, that it is the index and everything that we add appear in a very well-defined manner. So again, something similar to the plane has appeared, but there's one slight difference. If you guys notice, this rectangle that we've added has no access to it. We don't have the option that we had here of changing the scale, rotating it. This is because the rectangle is a 2D object and the plane that we added was a 3D object. So by our knowledge, we know that when we work with 3D objects, we have to work with the X, Y, and Z axis, and with 2D objects, we can simply drag it all over the panel and place it wherever we want it. So I'll just place it here, and it's very easy to handle the 2D objects because I don't need to go to the inspector panel. Of course, we have options here also, but we can easily control it. There's no access added to it, so we'll just try adding something like here. And again, if you want to drag it anywhere, you can also select the alignment from the inspector panel. Suppose I select this alignment or this alignment. So you can see the rectangle has appeared in the middle of this preview panel. I'll just try to put it back to its place. So either you can drag it, which is I think the most convenient way of handling 2D objects, or you can just go to this panel and align it. So I've added this, and now I wish to add some color to it to make it look a little attractive. Again, the same thing that we did for the plane, we'll add a material. Click on this from here or from the rectangle click on adding material, and we'll just create a new material, and I'll name this material as the material rectangle or rectangular material, because we don't want to get confused between the material that we've added for the plane and for our rectangle. So I've added this here. You can see this is a very basic effect. Still, we have added like two materials, and we'll also end up adding certain more materials when we add something else. So it's always better to rename every material that we are adding simultaneously. So I'll just click it, head to the inspector panel to change its color. We have a wide option of color here. You can select any color that you want. I'm just adding a red color because the sticker that I've added has a red color. Also, if you know the code of a particular color that you wish to include, you can just add it here. If you are particular that way, if you want to add a specific color, you can just add the code here. We have an option of adding the code here. You can do that, but for now I'm just adding this red color, and you can see the color has changed, but it's too bright and too opaque, so I just want to make it a little transparent. For that, our rectangle material has already been selected because that was where we were working. I'll head to the inspector panel. I'll just I'll just go a little down, and yeah, we have the option here to control how opaque or how transparent the material that we have added is looking. So right now it's set to 100%. I'll just decrease it to a 60% or 64% and keep it like this. So we have certain other options here, the blend mode, the alpha test, and everything else. So these are things that we don't usually use. These are just things that we dwell into when we are making a very complex or a very unique looking effect. For a simple effect, we don't need to work with all those options. We'll stick to our basic options. So I've added this here. I've added rectangle material. Now let's try adding a 3D text. So I'll just click on add again, click on object. We have options to add a 2D text as well as a 3D text. I'll just try adding a 3D text right now. Yeah. So we've added a text, and you can see since it's a 3D text, all the options that were available for the plane and not for the rectangle box have come here again. Simply just place it wherever we want on our screen, here and here, and place it here. Alright, so we've placed it here, and by this panel right now, we'll just change the text and we'll just add whatever we want to add. So I just want to add let's get vaccinated. I'll add that. You can add whatever, and I mentioned earlier also, don't add hashtags. I mean, they look cool and all, but if you add a hashtag, your effect will eventually get rejected, so that's a waste of effort. Then don't add hashtags, just keep your text simple. You can of course add anything else that you want to, certain kind of animation or something like that, that will be accepted, but not hashtags. So you can see in our preview panel, the alignment of our text is a little bit off. We'll just set it right now. Using the axis here, I'm just trying to set the alignment here. And other thing that I can do is I can decrease the scale of the text from the inspector panel. So let's see how we can do that. So you can see in the inspector panel, the scale of the text is already very small. It's something like it's 0.00125. So now I plan to make very micro change to it. So that's why I've come to the inspector panel. I'll just add micro changes, and we can see that something has also changed in our panel as I'm typing with our axis. Okay. So now our text is looking a little better, and we can just increase the size of the rectangle box a little bit to make our text inside the box. Yeah. So this is what we have done. Yeah. So this is how we have made our text. I just want to, make it a little more, give it a little more 3D effect. So I'll just bring it a little forward and set the alignment again. So now it is a little better. And by default, the material that has been created for the text is this gray colored material. You can just simply click on this material, just rename it as text material. Of course, we can also add text material ourselves, but for now we'll just let's keep it. Let's see what colors we have in our sticker. Okay, so we have a blue color, so let's try adding a blue color to it. Let's see which, a little lighter blue, I think. Yeah, okay. So I'm just trying to align it with the sticker. You can keep it however you want. It's looking a little bit dark. I'll just change the color again. uh, if you don't want to change the color and you're all right with the color combination that had appeared, you can do that. I'm just trying to change it and making it and try to make it look better. Yeah, so this is looking better, but I'm not completely satisfied with this, so I'll try to change the color again. So just bear with me for a minute and we'll add some good color to it. Still not looking good. Let's just set it back to white and see how it is looking. Yeah, so I think white is still looking better than the blue that we were trying to add. Let's just keep it to white for now. Of course, we can add colors according to the sticker that you've added. I've added this sticker. It has a limited color option, so we'll just stick to white for now. No matter how boring it might look, let's just stick to white. And now let's just unpause it and see how our effect is coming together. So yeah, so this is how we have added the sticker and a text. Let's try adding something from the AR library. So I'll just try to add a vaccine here and let's see what options do we have for the vaccine. Okay, so we have certain options here and we have a few options here. I'll just see what it is. Yeah, so we have some options here. What we can do is we can select from this syringe option that we have that actually signifies vaccine. Or let's see if we search injection, what comes. I hoping something better comes than this. Yeah, so let's see what has come. Okay, so now we have options that look better. I think let's try to add this one. It has a nice effect to it. Let's see how it looks. Of course, we can change it according to ourselves. It's not like we've added it once, so we can't change it. If it's not looking good, we'll change it. If it's looking fine and aligning with our theme, we'll keep it. And also at this point of time, if you get an option, the option that I was getting here was import free, and I was able to import it easily because I have already signed into my Facebook account. At this point, if you have not signed into your Facebook account or your Sketchfab account, it will redirect you to there, and you need to just quickly log in there and come back here, and the same option will come for you. So just keep that in mind. If this point redirects you to Sketchfab or to Facebook, just log in and come back, and everything will be sorted. So now we can see the objects that we have added has come in the assets panel, but it is nowhere to be seen in the preview panel. So where has it gone? So what we'll do is, we have earlier done the same thing in our previous video. We'll just click on this asset that was added, that we imported from the AR library. We'll just drag this between the focal distance and the ambient light. So anything that you have added in your panel and it has not appeared, just click on it, drag it and place it between the focal distance and the ambient light. So we can see it has appeared, but it is very large. I'll just decrease the scale from the inspector panel. It is by default set to 111 and it is too huge for 1, so I'll just set it to a 0.05. Of course, we can play with the values and see. It's not important that the first time only the value should come perfect and it should appear nice. So yeah, so this thing has come to a nice size now, but we have to make it a little aligned and a little in this red box that we've added. So again, it was a 3D object, so we have access for it. I'll just drag it a little bit down and I'll just rotate it a little bit first. So I click on rotate and I'll just rotate, just a minute. I'll just rotate it and see how, and I just want to place it a little tilted like this. So I think the rotation is set now. I'll just drag and place it inside the red box. Yeah, with the x-axis a little on this side, and we have added this object. Yeah, so what we've done is we have imported some 3D object from the AR library, placed it into our scene, successfully added something from our computer, aligned it with our face movement, added some text. So this is what you can do if you want to make a very basic effect, or if you are using the Spark AR Studio for the first time. So just let me know in the comments if you want me to show something else, or if you're fine with this one, then we'll move on with publishing this effect. I'll just come back to the option here. Yeah, so I think we'll just okay, I'll just first show you guys how to submit this normal effect, and after that, in the Q&A session, if you guys want me to show you how we can work with the head occluder and rotate objects around our head, I'll do that also. So let's try to submit this effect. So we have option here, publish option here, and the same option here. So if you just click on publish from any of these buttons, we have this option here to publish our effect. We also have two options to publish it. One is that you save this file that you have made by clicking here on file and save it on your computer, and then go to the Spark AR Hub in the browser and then submit it. But we don't need to do that. Our studio will itself take us to the Spark AR Hub once we have clicked on this button. So just to save our time, the studio has this ability to redirect us to the Spark AR Hub. We don't need to do that until and unless we are doing some kind of file size compression or something like that. So it says, what do you want to do? Publish a new effect or update an existing one? So even if you have ended up submitting one effect, and like after a day or two you feel like you have learned something new, and if you want to update your effect, you can do that also by clicking on this option, update existing effect, or we can simply move on with publishing the new effect. Since we are publishing it for the first time, I am showing you guys for the first time. Some of you might have seen it in the earlier videos, but for those who are attending the session for the first time, we'll just click on publish new effect. And if you're making the effect right now, you should also click on publish new effect. And now we have an option to upload the demo video. And what is a demo video? A demo video is nothing. It's simply a short video, a 6 to 10-second video that you have to record. By clicking on this option, it basically shows how your effect is looking on your face. So the demo video is you showcasing how the effect is looking on your face. So this is what we have done. We have published a new effect. We are skipping the demo video option because it is optional. If you guys want to save some time, you can skip it, because anyway, when we are going to use it on our Instagram or our Facebook, we definitely going to put it like a story or record it. So we don't need that right now. And platform requirements. Okay, so the platform requirements part basically shows if your file is capable of being uploaded on the Spark AR Hub or not. So the first and the very important thing is file size requirements. So any effect that we're trying to publish should not be more than 30 MB, or in case of I think in case of Windows and Mac, it varies a little bit, but I think it's 30 MB. So if your file size is very large, if you have added certain objects, you have downloaded certain music or audio files, if you added that, if you and the file size has exceeded the required limit, what you can do is first the studio will itself try to compress your file size to a limit. So sometimes your file size is too big that the studio can't totally compress it. So for that, you need to use an external software to do that. You can just simply go on Google and search how to decrease file size of Spark AR file. That will be done within 3 or 4 minutes. And but I told you, first the studio tries to compress it itself, so that way it saves a certain time. And now the second option that we have is capabilities met. So capabilities means that you should not have added something that is not accepted according to the Instagram guidelines. Of course, you can add objects that are cool looking, and there is no limit to it, but these are certain general guidelines that you have to follow. You can check it on Spark AI policies here, but just to give you guys an idea, if you guys are trying to add certain things like a QR code, something like that, so that will not be accepted. You won't be able to publish your effect, so don't add anything like that. Just stick to whatever we have. We have many options like adding video and audio files, like limitless option to make our effect attractive. Don't add something that will eventually get your AR effect rejected. So let's just upload it and see where it takes us. So now the studio is redirecting us to the Spark AR Hub, where we'll publish our effect, and we'll just complete the last step of the challenge and see how what appears. Yeah. So you can see this is the option that is coming here to publish an effect, and the file that we're trying to add has been uploaded here by the studio itself. So what we need to do is we just need to fill in these details. I'll just give a name to my effect. So many times you people have noticed that when we try to use certain effect on our Instagram, it actually shows XYZ effect by this person. So why does it show that? Because that person has actually created the effect and submitted it, and it has gotten accepted by Instagram, and that's why it is available for use. So if you also want your effect to be known by your name, you can give it like COVID effect or vaccine effect by this person. You can add your name. I will just keep it to vaccination effect. And we have a word limit we have to keep in mind. So we have given it a name. The file has already been uploaded. Now coming on to the platforms option. So we have platforms. Basically, this challenge is by Facebook. So we have two options to publish our effect on. The first is Instagram, the most widely used social media right now, and the other is Facebook. So I will just select platform. You can publish on both your Instagram and Facebook account, or select one out of the two. So for me, this option is not coming right now here because I've not linked my Insta account. I can do that right now, but I don't want to. I just have an option to select Facebook. So if you have linked your account, both your options will come here, all platforms, and this button will also be available to you. It's not coming from me because I have not linked it here. And this option is the audience option. So we have certain control over what of who will be able to use or who will be able to view our effect. If we want our effect to be in public domain, we can just simply select public and move on to filling other details. But if you are a private person and if you want to keep your effect limited to certain people, just click on link only option. So that way only people with the link can use your effect, and you'll be receiving the link. I'll show you how you'll get that also in a few minutes. So that is the basic difference. And for the link only option, your effect will not be available for public use. It will be restricted to your profile only. And for the public option, even if your profile, Instagram profile, is private and you choose this public option, your effect will be available to everyone who is using Instagram. So I'll just select link only option here, and you can see these have been already filled because at the starting of the challenge we logged into our Facebook account. So that's why these have come. But if you want to change it, you can do that. If you want to log into some other Facebook account, you can do that also. And the last option, the icon option. So the icon option is basically the option that show that you can actually click a photo of yourself trying on the effect, and it will appear here in this box, and you can then publish it. But this is completely optional. If you don't want to do that, you don't need to do that. You can skip this part. This is optional. And now everything else has been filled. Yeah. So one more thing. If you select public here, there might be some other option that you have to fill. So if you select public here, the category options will open up. This is basically, we know that our Instagram feed is what we see and what we are more aligned to. So each person has their feed aligned according to their what they view on Instagram and what kind of accounts they follow. So when we are keeping our effect public, and we want it to appear to everyone who is using Instagram, we have to select certain categories. For example, you can select up to 4 categories. Select anything that you want to add. If you have made Halloween effect, you can just click on weird and scary. So that way, if a person's Instagram feed is more aligned towards any of these categories and your effect is also in that category, so that will be a match. It's basically like the hashtags that we use, but for the effect. So you can select up to 4 categories here. You can again add optional keywords, which is optional, to include a particular theme that you have aligned your effect with and things like that, but that's optional. And one thing that is compulsory to include when you are using the public option is to record a demo video and to upload a file. So when we were using the link only option, it was not compulsory for us to include a demo video. But if you are publishing your effect while selecting the audience option to public, you need to record a demo video, which you can do with that option that had come earlier in the Spark Air Studio. And this option, you have to click a photo of yourself using your effect. And again, this icon option, how you want your effect to look when we see it, using the thumbnail video or using the image that you have clicked right now. And collaborators is optional. This is something that influencers and content creators might use when they are promoting a brand or promoting something like that, that you don't need to include. But you can see the basic differences, that while using the public options you have to follow a few steps, but if you click on the link only option, you don't have to record a demo video and things like that. So everything else is same. The name and file platform option is same. And now we'll click on publish and let's see if my effect will be published or not. So depending upon your file size, the publishing time might vary. It won't take like 1 hour or 2 hour. It will take 4 to 5 minutes if your effect is very heavy and if it contains a lot of objects, materials, and everything like that. Ours was a very simple, so it will be uploaded in like 40 to 50 seconds. I'm sure in a few seconds it will be completed. And yes, so yeah, we have published our effect and now we can share it with someone by sending the link. So as I had selected the link only option, but even for the public option, you'll get this option to view your link, because if you want to share it with someone outside of Facebook and Instagram, suppose if you want to share your effect that you have created with your friend on WhatsApp, you can just click on link, copy this link has been copied, paste it somewhere, and click on done. And that way you will be able to share the effect that you have created with your friends and they'll be able to use it with the link. Okay, so with that, we have come to the last step of the challenge, and this is very important. Don't skip this step. So now we have published our effect on the Spark AI Hub. The last thing that is left is you just click on this effect part, and you can see these are all the effects that I have submitted. So I've ended up submitting a lot of effects because of this challenge. Your effect, when you eventually publish it, will be in review phase, because Instagram actually reviews each and every effect that is being uploaded, so as to keep in mind the community guidelines that it follows. And the community guidelines are simple. Your effect should not contain anything that is objectionable or disrespectful to someone. It should not contain any object I told you, like a QR code. All these things are general things that we keep in mind while posting content on social media. All these things are reviewed, and if all of those are correct, your effect will be accepted. And if but eventually when you publish it, it will be in review stage for a day or two. After that, you can see that it was accepted or rejected. Even if it is rejected, it will show you why it has rejected your effect, and accordingly you can make changes. So mine effect has been accepted immediately. That also might happen with some of you. So you just need to take a screenshot of this page and submit it in the dashboard that Anuj showed you in the beginning of this session, the same dashboard through which you registered for this challenge. So take a screenshot here and submit it in that dashboard. the same dashboard through which you registered. So that will be the last step. Submitting the screenshot will be the last step, and that's how you had completed the challenge. And you for participating in the challenge, the minimum number of effect that you have to submit is one, and the maximum is your choice. So I'll just stop sharing my screen and we'll just take up some questions if you have, and if you guys want me to show something else, just some other effect, or if you want me to stick to the basic AR effects, we'll do that also. So coming back, yeah, so we'll just take up some questions here. We have a bunch of questions. Okay, so I'll start with the questions now. Can you share the Slack channel link here? Yeah, Anuj, can you just share the link to the Slack channel here? Okay, so we'll add the link in a minute. I'll just put it here. So I can add, okay. Do we have to submit the screenshot of the hub? Okay, the Slack channel's link have been added. Slack, yeah. So Slack channel is basically a channel that we've created. Our team is available there. We are helping students or anyone who is making the effect. If they have any problem, I'll guide you. You guys can connect with us in the Slack channel. Yeah, and I'll take other questions now. How can we add effects based on facial expressions? Yeah, so that is something we can do. I understand what you're saying. If you open your mouth or if you tilt your head like this, so the effect moves and something like that. So for that, what you can do is, we have actually recorded a video that shows how you can work with the patch editors. So that is something that can be done through the patch editors. Have a look at our previous video. Still, if you are unable to do it, connect with us on the Slack channel. Time is today midnight, so like 11:59 p.m. or 12 p.m. That's the deadline for the challenge. Can we upload screenshot of the first page after we uploaded? Okay, you have to submit the screenshot of the effects page where it shows that your effect is in review. How can we create filter like effects? Okay, I mean, if you want to change the background and how the uh, atmosphere and everything is changing, so for that also, I have recorded a video where I have shown how you can change the background of the effect. So you can have a look at that, when and how we will get our reward. Yeah, so after 20th, that is today, we'll start collecting the data, and we'll start the process of dispatching the rewards. It will take some days, but your reward will definitely reach you if you have registered for the challenge and if your effect has been accepted. Yeah, so Utkarsh, yeah, there is a certificate and a t-shirt that you'll receive from our side. And each one of you who has registered through our link and who has submitted their effect, and if it has gotten accepted, will receive a certificate and a t-shirt. So let me have a look at other question. There is just only a submit screenshot. Yeah, so you just have to submit the screenshot that shows that you have submitted one effect, and upload it on the dashboard, the same dashboard that Anuj showed you in the beginning. Yeah, so the Slack channel's link have been added 2 or 3 times. Also, you can check our Instagram, YouTube. So we are here for the live stream on the YouTube channel. If you want to connect with us on Instagram or on LinkedIn, we are our company's or organization's name is with the same name, Incubate Int. Join us there, and we regularly update what events are we having there as well. Do you have to submit the screenshot of the hub? Yeah, the same screenshot that I just showed you guys. I have submitted the effect and the screenshot. Is there any notification on the website? So if you have submitted your effect and the screenshot, you'll get an email confirmation from Incubate Int. So that will be a confirmation. And if you have any problem with that, if you haven't received the email, connect with us in the Slack channel. Yeah, Ayush, you can add music on tap. It won't create any problem of rejection. Just make sure what music are you adding. And if you want to know how you can add that screen tap and everything, go back. You can go to the video that I have recorded. All that works with the patch editors. My alt and control are not working. Any alternative? Okay, so I really don't know any alternative, because I'll try to search and put it in the Slack channel if you connect with me there, but I'm not really sure if there is any other alternative for the control and alt key.
There is one alternative. You can click on Start, Shift, and S. So that's how you can use the snipping tool. And if still that's not working, you can just search for the snipping tool using the Start button, and then you can use it. That's not an issue.
Yeah, thank you, Anuj. Does our demo video shown to all, or okay? So the demo video is not shown to everyone. Am I right, Anuj? It is just for reviewing purpose for the Facebook team.
Yeah.
I'm sure. Yeah. Anything else that we have? Yeah. So many question about the link only option. So if you want to skip that step of submitting the demo video, you can just select link only option in the audience section. Then it won't ask for the demo video. Till what time? I already told you it's 12 today. Is there any mail ID to submit demo video? Because I can't submit it here for some reason. So if you can't submit it on the Spark AR Hub or directly from the studio, what you can do is you can save the effect that you have made on the studio on your computer. Go to Spark AR Hub separately on your browser, and then you can click on the publish button. Then you have to upload the file that you have saved, the effect that you have made, and it will give you an option to record the demo video. And the other option that we have is that you download Spark AR player in your phone, and you log into a Facebook. It will automatically get connected. It will show you the effect that you have made on your phones. So in the Spark AR player, you can't make any changes in your effect. It's just for previewing purpose and for recording the demo video. So this is something that you can do if you are unable to record demo video for directly from the studio. Change the color brightness. Yeah, the color brightness and everything can be changed as I had shown you. It all of that can be controlled. Can we submit one effect on both challenge? Yeah, you can submit two effects. That's not an issue. Okay, someone said please speak in Hindi. I'm sorry for that. I did not read your comment earlier. You said we will get a certificate, but how will we get your location? Of course, if you have submitted your effect, you might have received an email. Similar way, you'll receive another email where we'll ask for your address, and that's how we're gonna send it to you. The effects page can be uploaded if there are two effects. So yeah, Anuj, I think they can submit two screenshots, right? I'm not sure. Anuj will have to answer that. So Anuj, can you just take this question? The same effect page can be uploaded. Yeah. So yes, you can submit two screenshots, so that is fine. No issues with that. Demo video will be shown in a profile as thumbnail. No, I don't think it will be. The video is just for the reviewing purpose. Your effect will actually be shown. It's very helpful for my career. Yeah, so if you guys have any other doubts, just put it in the comment section. I'll take that up. And as we already told you, today is the last date to submit your effects. After that, the challenge closes. Even if you guys submit it after that, we won't be able to help you with that. We suggest you create your effect right now. It hardly takes like 10-15 minutes to make it. And if you have any doubts, you can connect with us on the Slack channel or on LinkedIn. Do we what do we do if you want to attend both questions? Yeah, you can do that as well. You can separately make effect for each question that is getting celebrated, and to appreciate the frontline workers, you can do that as well. We'll be happy to see your effects that you're creating. You can share it with us on the Slack group. Yeah, I've already answered that question about the location and everything, that we'll send you the same way we sent you a confirmation email. We'll send you a Google form link or something like that to take your address, and we'll do that. So that's not an issue. Don't worry about it. It will be sent if your effect has been accepted. Yeah, so I think we have taken up pretty much all the questions. We have added the link to the Slack channel, and I've told you that we've recorded 3 or 4 videos about the same things. So if you feel doubtful or if you have any queries, you can just see the videos that we have recorded. And even after that, if you face any issue, you can connect with us on the Slack group or on LinkedIn. Our organization's LinkedIn is here. So you can do that as well. We'll be happy to help you guys. And if you want to share your effects with us, you can share it with us. We'll be happy to see your effects on the Slack group. We need to submit both the challenge. Minimum is one. If you submit one, you will be getting your reward. Don't attempting both the questions is not compulsory. Is there any limitation about adding the text in the filter? Yeah, as I told you, the text you have to add at least one face tracker or one alignment in your text or whatever sticker that you are adding, because since in my effect I added a face tracker to the sticker that I added, that's why it got accepted. If you try to add both the things and make it static, it won't be accepted. Don't do that. Today, which time is the last date? So yeah, end of today, that is 12 a.m. Yeah, that is 11:59 p.m. to be precise. The challenge closes then, and so that's the last date. So thank you all for joining us for this hands-on workshop on Facebook Spark AR Labs. I was delighted to interact with you all. It was a really nice session. If you guys enjoyed it, and if you want to publish your effects, if you want to show it off on social media, you can do that. If you have any doubts, you can connect with us on the Slack channel or on LinkedIn. Thank you for joining us. We'll be ending the session now. Thank you.